Hey guys, this is Jerry, welcome to the channel. Today we are driving the all-new Suzuki Fronx that's available in the New Zealand right-hand drive market. At the moment, there is only one single spec available. All the features you're going to see in this vehicle is going to be available in the New Zealand market. There is only one option you can choose. One is the single tone color, the other one is the two-tone color. The pricing for the new Suzuki Fronx is $31,990 plus ORC. Then the two-tone is $32,990 plus ORC. Now let's have a quick look at the outside. First thing, what is the Suzuki Fronx? It is more of a crossover, not full-size SUV, but not a super tiny hatchback like the Suzuki Swift. It kind of gave me a vibe how the Suzuki Baleno looks, but instead it has a better ground clearance than the Baleno. It is still smaller than something like a Suzuki Vitara or Suzuki S-Cross, if you know what I mean. In terms of dimensions, the vehicle is just under 4 meters long, so it's not really a big car in terms of dimensions. It is also under 1.8 meters wide, so fairly small. The wheelbase is 2.52 meters. In terms of overall look from the exterior, they got full LED headlights with LED daytime running as well. Looks alright, to be fair. At the front, you got the Suzuki logo, some chrome finish over here, black trims just underneath. There is also 360 view camera plus front and rear parking sensors available on the Fronx as standard. This one is two-tone finish, red color and black roof. They do look alright actually. On the side, there are plastic wheel arches over here, so that gives the vehicle sort of rugged look. 16-inch alloys as standard with Goodyear tires. Then on the side, black top over here, then silver trim on the door mirror. Privacy glass is already in place as well. The rear tail lights looks also alright actually. Let's see if we can switch that on. Wow, they do have a running tail light. That looks very nice. It kind of reminds me of how the Hyundai Tucson tail lights looks like, but again, they look alright. Over here, this is a hybrid. Although it's called hybrid, this vehicle is only a 12-volt mild hybrid system. On the left, Fronx logo just over here. What do you think about the exterior? Please let me know in the comment down below. Anyway, manual tailgate is available. Over here, we are getting around 300 liters boot volume. You do have a parcel tray over here. That means you can lift this up. It's going to be a little bit challenging with this small space that's available. Now this is what it looks like when you go to the top. It's close to the top, but there's still a big gap over here. Underneath, there is no spare wheel. Although there is some sort of space over here, you only get mobility kit. I guess that's probably using as a saving weight, so the measurement. I guess in the future, you can still get a spare wheel if you do choose to go through that route. Now the cargo cover, of course, can be taken off if you need to. Alright, let's look at the rear seats. The front has been set to my driving position. I'm about 178 centimeters tall. Surprisingly, it's actually got a lot more room than I expected. So, pretty good actually. Foot space is alright. It's not lifted. The seat feels alright. The seat trim is half leather, half fabric. They got some sort of burgundy finish colors over here. They do feel alright. The seats reminds me of something you can find on the old Mazda CX-3 in terms of patterns and things. And yeah, it's quite squishy actually. Sitting in the back is not bad. Let's close the door. Alright. There is button over here for the window. There is central locking over here. And then underneath there is 2 USB chargings. Some pockets over here. Is there armrest or cup holder? No, not really. There is no center cup holder either. Pockets over here, so at the back it's actually alright, better than I thought. Headroom is also not too bad for me. At my sitting position, it's got good clearance on the top. I'm not touching the head, but do remember the roof line is quite low, so when you get in, you have to sort of bend and to get in. That's what the back looks like. Now, all the Fronx gets keyless entry and keyless start, so that's pretty easy. Seat adjustment is manual adjustment. There is no electronic, but there we go. Take a seat inside. Steering looks identical to some of the Suzuki you can find on the market, like the Suzuki Swift. You do get pedal shifters, you do get some controls for your cruise control, lane keeping and things like that. These buttons are for phone calls, these buttons are for the volume. Indicators on the right and windscreen wiper on the left. On the right, you can find some quick buttons to change the cameras, parking sensors, safety controls, auto hold, auto stop start, HUD adjustments up and down. You can of course fold that in, and over here that's just the window control and mirror adjustment. In front of us, that's a small digital dashboard. You can change that by pressing the info button. That allows you to see the speedo, driving information and all that things. So yeah, that's available. It's not too bad. And on the side, traditional analog over there. In front of us, that's a nice HUD. So not too bad for the price. It's definitely acceptable. And yeah, it's fairly useful. Then now in the center, this is a 9-inch touchscreen. It's got 360 view camera, which is very rare for what you can find among these price tag. Remember, it's only just over $30,000 in the New Zealand market. In terms of phone connectivity, it's got wireless and wired Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Along with that, you do have all the other settings to control your music, media, and also the vehicle settings over here. Screen response time is actually not too bad. It's pretty good actually. There is no built-in navigation, but you can connect your smartphone. That's probably the easiest way and most people's favorite. Anyway, screen is actually pretty good. And then underneath, air vents has a light. Over here, you get your air conditioning menu, just a single zone air conditioning. What I really like is at least you get all the physical buttons and a control panel over here to see everything. Underneath, you're getting a wireless phone charger, which is again very surprising for the price of the vehicle. And USB charging and a 12-volt socket is also underneath. 2 cup holders, gear controlled over here, just straightforward. And then you got manual mode to use your pedal shifters, plus sport mode if you want to drive the vehicle a little bit faster. Handbrake, auto hold, heated seats are also available. So this vehicle actually surprises me with all the features that's available. So half leather seats, heated seats, and then 360 camera plus the what's that called, HUD. So yeah, all those things combined, yeah, it actually gives a really good value. Now, how does it drive? Let's get it on road to see how it goes. Alright, before we get on the road, let's quickly have a look at the visibility of the vehicle. Side is okay, front is actually quite limited. The vehicle feels like the roof lining is quite low and the dashboard and all that base is quite high, so this part is quite shrinked, especially for me at my sitting position. The other side is pretty good. The rear corner is also good. And the rear windscreen is alright actually. So yeah, just the front visibility is not the best overall. But anyway, let's get it on road to see how it goes. First thing, power. It is a 1.5 liter petrol hybrid, or we should call it mild hybrid. It's started with a 12-volt starting motor mild hybrid technology. That means the combined power is 76 kilowatts, and then Newton meters is 136 maximum. So not some impressive numbers, but the vehicle has a quite low, let's say, weight. It only weighs around just over 1,000 kilograms. That means it should be very easy to drive in terms of its driving part and things. There is also an auto stop start, which again does help with the fuel efficiency. Speaking of the fuel efficiency, the vehicle does have a factory claim number, 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers. The good thing about the Fronx is it can take 91 petrol. Many people did complain about the 95 petrol, which is recommended or standard for the Suzuki Swift Hybrid. Now it's better news, I guess. In terms of driving, it's got the 6-speed automatic gearbox. It works okay. Again, the vehicle feels quite small and feels quite, let's say, easy to control. The handle is okay. Suspension setup is also alright. To expect this is a budget-friendly vehicle. It's not going to be super premium in all areas. Acceleration, it's not too bad. Whenever you drive, brakes and things like that, it doesn't feel like there is much of a hybrid power. The reason being, it's only a mild hybrid 12-volt technology. There is not much of a assisted driving under the hybrid. It only just helps with the starting and stopping and the traffic. So when you drive along, when you get up to the speed, it just feels like a pure petrol vehicle in most ways. And then the vehicle does doing a random downshift while we were talking. So yeah, steering and all that things feels alright. It's a front wheel drive, it's pretty direct. Now the power delivery feels quite easy, but the transmission is not the best to work with. Occasionally it will just do random shifts here and there. It doesn't respond to your accelerator and things. Now over here it kickstart, so it does take some time to learn with this transmission. It's not as smooth as some of the CVT transmission Suzuki has, but at the same time it's alright. Again, gentle acceleration feels alright, but if you do any harsh acceleration, it just feels like the transmission does surge up and down. Going uphill, it's okay. The engine does make a bit of noise here and there, but handling is actually quite easy because it's a small car, short wheelbase, at the same time pretty good like steering assistance. So you can definitely feel that when you drive around corners around here. For a city driving car, the suspension setup is definitely acceptable. I wouldn't say it's super comfortable, but at the same time it's okay. When you sit on these sort of roads, it does bounces a little bit, but if it's on flat surface around the city area, it should be very, very comfy. The seats itself is really nice. Seats feels really good in terms of the support and also the balance. We won't be able to get on motorway today since this is just a quick short test drive. I just want to let you know my driving impression about this car. Overall, it feels alright. It does not feel like a real hybrid in any way, but at the same time, if you treat this car as a nice standard petrol crossover, it does most of the work easily. It's not too bad in terms of the driving experience. At rainy days, when you go around the corners, you can feel the grip, you can feel the wheel spin, which is a standard. Alright, that's pretty much all I want to talk about in this particular video. What do you think about the new Suzuki Fronx? Please let me know in the comment. Overall, it is a likable combination of features added to the Suzuki lineup. A small crossover that's not too big, not too high, but still relatively spacious for what it is. At the same time, it does offer a reasonable amount of driving features on this particular drivetrain. If you found my video helpful, the best way to support the channel is to subscribe and like. Now, I'll see you next video. Thank you very much.